Looking at these answer choices, it's pretty clear to me what this question is testing. I see choice C that stands out. That is a comma plus a conjunction, and that is used to join two sentences. So basically, I'm going to check. Does there a sentence before that comma? Is there a sentence after the but? If there are, then it probably means that that's right. I might look at D since that's a little weird. That's usually not a choice that gets thrown into questions involving conjunctions. But let's take a look. Let's see what we've got. So I'm going to start here since we're only concerned with sentence structure for the sentences that are open-ended. Leibniz wheel calculators were popular in the first half of the 20th century. Yes, that is a sentence that could end right there with a period, so that's good. Now I'm going to skip the but because I don't really, it's not going to affect the sentence structure really. It's just starting that off, so it's going to start after that. These ingenious devices were eventually replaced by electronic calculators. That's also a sentence. So already I'm leaning heavily towards C. I know B isn't going to work. I know A isn't going to work because we have two sentences and a comma is not enough to join those sentences alone. We need the comma plus the conjunction, and A has nothing. So we need something to show that connection between these two sentences. I'm going to look at D though, just in case. Let's just read it in there and see how it sounds. Leibniz wheel calculators were popular in the first half of the 20th century, that these ingenious devices were eventually replaced by electronic calculators. No. I kind of get what they're going for. My prediction here is they're thinking that you might misread what they're saying. If they said Leibniz wheel's calculators were so popular in the first half of the 20th century that these ingenious devices were eventually replaced by electronic calculators, that doesn't make sense logically, but there's a version of that makes sense. It's like they're so popular that they replaced the other bad calculators before, over time. So they'd have to change the wording of this in order for the logic of the word that to make sense. But I think what they're going for here is that there's a version of this that could work with a that, and they're hoping you just read too quickly and miss it. But if we think about what the rules are before we get started, then we don't really fall into that particular trap. I don't think it's particularly tempting anyway, but you really do need to know that if you see a comma and a conjunction, a word like but, a word like and, in an answer choice, then that is a punctuation question that is testing whether or not we have sentences. So that helps us as we read kind of test out, does this sound like a complete sentence? Could I put a period here or not? And now we have a task. And we never really want to be answering these questions without a clear task. And that's why predicting the rule ahead of time gives us a path to follow and try to test things out with the answer choices.